I would like for everyone to reflect back on your high school experience. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to miss something in your own life? It's not like it isn't there, but instead you didn't feel like it mattered. I think a lot of us get this disappointed or void-like feeling when we come to realize that these pivotal years were not how we expected them to be. A few prominent television shows and movies we watched growing up, including High School Musical, The Vampire Diaries, One Tree Hill, and many more, really gave a false perception of the American high school experience. Though I'm not exactly sure why we believe these expectations, when the actors in these coming-of-age productions were at least 10 to 15 years older than the characters they were playing. I mean, not a single person I know could hold a candle to the 17-year-old appearances portrayed by Vanessa Hudgens or Chad Michael Murray in the early 2000s. Because of this, we are not living our lives for ourselves, but instead comparing them to fictional stories. It is so common for us to rely on narratives to decipher what is normal or acceptable. The books we read and the movies and shows we watch control how we act and what we believe. Today, I'm going to address how normal is not something real. It's what we absorb, whether that is through high school pressures, unhealthy relationships, or learned behaviors. Once we realize this, we can question it. When I was beginning to research this topic, I decided to see how comparable my high school experience has been to a Disney Channel original movie or a CW show that ran for about 7 seasons too long. I never went to parties, but I did play a varsity sport all 4 years. There were never any dramatic hallway confrontations or life-changing romances, but instead rushed mornings and late nights studying for my AP statistics test. I will admit though, at some point in all this constant stress and work, I found myself dressed up as a founding father at the USA-themed football game. Overall, I would say I made some pretty stereotypical high school memories, but I had no idea about the strenuous workload that was waiting for me. And then it hit me. I wasn't necessarily disappointed because my high school experience was lacking. I was disappointed because I was comparing it to something that never actually existed. Following this realization, I wondered if it was just me. So I conducted a survey where I found that 72.8% of the respondents said that at some point they felt disappointed when real life didn't compare to a fictional world. This leads me into a big phenomenon I want to focus on, which is narrative knowing. Pamela Rutledge from Psychology Today simplifies this perfectly. Narrative knowing is the biological tendency to prioritize the emotional credibility of a story rather than the truth. When we are immersed into a story, the brain doesn't easily separate a dramatized experience from real life. And that's because both of these feelings seem genuine. The role models we see on screen set standards around how we dress, how we talk, and even how we handle relationships. The behaviors we read and watch repeatedly often carry more weight than our personal experiences, slowly turning into what we accept as normal. This is when it can get concerning. Since some of the patterns we absorb aren't harmless, dating violence, for example, is often normalized. Toxic and possessive behavior is framed as intense passion. For example, the Twilight movie series romanticize possessiveness and control, making unhealthy behaviors be seen as protective and passionate rather than concerning. This comes down to repetition. Jealousy, control, emotional chaos, when they're constantly portrayed as love, they begin to feel familiar rather than alarming. When we see the same story enough times, we stop questioning it. Instead, we start wondering why our lives don't match it. It's like watching the same scene with different characters. The same message is there every time. Eventually, we stop noticing it and begin to expect it. Now, I do not want this to push people away from the creativity, comfort, and escape that fiction brings to us all. Just to be clear, I watch Henry Danger on the daily and have a huge obsession for all dystopian movies. I consistently consume fiction. The difference is awareness. Being able to separate what is real and what is pushed upon us is so important. It is okay that your experiences don't mirror those of a Hollywood production. It is okay to be stressed with work, not go to every game or every party. But this also calls for creators of fiction to leave room for honesty and real representation. Encourage healthy relationships and ordinary moments. Experiences that people don't feel they have to live up to. Because fiction isn't real, but its influence is. Real life is not built on perfectly timed dramatic moments. It's built on the quiet and unexpected experiences that not everyone sees, but still matter just as much. Maybe the reason those moments feel so easy to miss is because we were taught to look for something that never existed